Okay, look, typically, I know, I do get drunk while I film these videos. Ooh. But it's like 9:30 in the morning, okay? It's 9:37. It is 9:37 in the morning. I'm just not going to crack a beer at 9:30. Well, psych, I got you again. No, I'm kidding. Of course, this is non-alcoholic. Did you really think that low of me? This is basically a butter beer. Although, in all fairness, consuming this much sugar this early in the morning is also disgusting. Better than alcohol, I say. Oh my god, I don't like soda. Great, I'm so glad I'm so committed to the bit. Okay, it's time to react to my Scream 6 predictions. This video was posted over a year ago, March 24th, 2022. I am filming this on March 27th, 2023. Oh, I had bangs back then. Good. If you weren't aware, this is something that I typically do on my channel where I record predictions for big franchise movies. Like I did the same thing for Halloween Ends, and I also did it for Scream 5. So that much later, in this case, over a year later, I can go back and react to them. After the movie comes out, I like to see what I thought was gonna happen, see how ridiculous it was, or see how accurate I was. Because when I reacted to my predictions for Halloween Ends, a lot of them were frighteningly accurate. Of course, none of us could really know how much that movie would go off the rails, but still, I was right about a lot of stuff, and I have a feeling that I will be this time too. Because I know Scream, baby. Oh, I know this franchise. But before I get into it, I mean, are you just like not gonna subscribe? Do you not feel a slight addiction already to this chaos? Some refer to me as Haunted Hippie, yes, it's true, but others also refer to me as their unholy ruler. I make jokes that I have the easiest cult to join because all you have to do is click subscribe. And also we're not a real cult. Wink, wink. Jared Leto made sure to make those really uncool these days. But regardless, that's all it takes to be in this community, but it also helps to click the like and click the notification bell so you don't miss our next meeting. But now that you've taken care of that, it's time to get on with this video and get on with me reacting to my cringy past self. We have a release date. Release date, release date, release date, release date. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? We have a release date. Sorry, too much? Sorry. You know what? This is all some shit that I still do. I still get up and I dance. I probably still would pretend to choke you out. That seems still on brand. So maybe this isn't as cringy as I thought. Also, if you're new here, this is not where I typically film, but my next couple of videos might be filmed here. It's because I am traveling to Poland right now. I do consider myself kind of like a Mrs. Worldwide. Dale. You know what I'm saying? Boo! I love that I'm just so casually like, yeah, I'm in Poland right now. Who the fuck visits Poland of all places in March? I'll tell you who. So yeah, I met a man in Poland, and I, for some reason, thought that that was gonna work out. Let us drink to being young and in love and stupid and not really in love, just being crazy. Dale. Excuse me. I see a lot of people who dislike movies on Letterboxd, and they'll say something like, it was just not what I expected. So I think that trailers are partially to blame, but my question is like, why would you even build up a movie to be something in your head and then actually expect the movie to be said thing? Isn't it better if it subverts your expectations? Like, whatever, that's not my business. Do I still feel this way? I guess so. Like, for a long time, I was like, no, just go in with no expectations or low expectations. That way you can't be disappointed. I get what I'm saying here. Like, obviously don't create a movie in your head and then be like, why is it not the movie that I made in my head? But nowadays, I'm not gonna tell you to go into a movie with low expectations so that you can't be disappointed. Because at the very least, we should be able to expect a competent movie. A movie that follows the narrative through line they're setting up in whatever the previous installment was. So yeah, I went into Halloween Ends with like no expectations because I had no idea how they were gonna oh, excuse me. I completely just lost my train of thought because I was so rudely interrupted. But I'm still all about that no trailer life, absolutely. Because sometimes trailers sell a completely different movie than what it actually is, you know? Anyway, I think I need to skip most of this intro stuff. Along with that, as a disclaimer, I didn't do any research for today's video. I'm just a massive Scream fan who wants to have some fun today. First up, the title. I don't think that we're going back to numbers. Numbers are tired. Boo. Stinky. I've joked around that they should call it Scream Kills, but that's stupid and that doesn't even deserve a place on this bingo card. I think that the title of Scream 6 will simply be Screams. It's easy, rolls off the tongue, plus you could turn the S at the end of Screams into a little 6 if you fancy. Oh man, they did go back to numbers. I really thought for whatever reason after Scream 2022 they weren't gonna do the number thing, because yes, the title of Scream 2022 went along with the commentary of the movie, but I also thought it was really smart because then you don't alienate your audience when you tack on a 5 at the end of the title. And with Scream 6 they were just like, fuck that, we're going back with numbers. Did I make another title prediction? I hope not. That's the only slot of the bingo card I'm gonna use for the title because there are much more juicy things to get into. So let's move on to some casting predictions. We know that Gale is returning, but we don't know about anybody else. We actually don't even know who is in talks to star in the movie yet, but I think that we can safely say that all of our faves from Scream 5 will be returning. Sam, Tara, Mindy, Chad, even Martha? You betcha. And honestly, if Courtney Cox is returning, then I definitely see Neve Campbell returning as well. Dude, this is before we even knew anything. We didn't even know that it was gonna be set in New York. This was pre all the Neve Campbell not returning drama. I mean, I will still give myself credit for this one because everybody but Neve did return. Like, not Dewey, obviously, but we got Kirby, but we didn't get Martha. Damn. I didn't realize that even a year ago I wanted her to come back, because I do now. I want her to come back for Scream 7. But the Neve stuff, oh my gosh. I mean, who could have seen that coming though? I mean, a lot of us probably could have seen her not returning, but like for the reasons? Ooh, I don't know. But I have another casting prediction, and I'll kind of have more as we get into the later details of the plot, but I don't want to give that away just yet. So the only other prediction that I have for casting is that I think that Samara Weaving will be seen in Scream 6. I'm a witch that sees the future. I just be knowing things, you know what I mean? Wait, let's see my reasoning. But if you aren't aware of Miss Samara Weaving somehow, she is like the queen of dark comedies. Mayhem, The Babysitter movies on Netflix, and my personal favorite, one of my favorite horror movies of all time, tied only to The Ring. Ready or Not. Oh my god, she kicks the most ass. Okay, I can't get into that right now. And this movie was directed by Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillette, who also directed Scream 22 and are slated to direct Scream 6. So for our third slot on the bingo card, I would say that it's written in the stars that they will cast Samara Weaving for Scream 6. What can I say? What can I say? I do know. I consider myself to be in the know. And that was before I even knew, you know? Sorry, excuse me. Okay, let me relax. Let me calm down. Now, there is a chance that they'll cast her for the opening kill. This is true. I would now consider myself to be a pretty big fan of these directors, and I'm obviously a huge fan of Samara Weaving, so people such as myself would be very shocked if they cast her only to take her out in the opening scene. So she could be the opening kill, but I also have a ton of other predictions for the opening scene because it could be anybody. Damn, I was like, yeah, she could definitely be the opening kill, but let me just not make that an official prediction. Why? Although I do make a good point that it's like, why are you gonna cast her if you're just gonna waste her for the opening 5 minutes of the movie? And that is a complaint that I had because a lot of the side characters fell so flat in Scream 6. Like, Ethan especially was just there for the entire runtime. He sucked so hard. I already know that one of my later predictions is probably gonna be that Samara Weaving is the killer, and I still wish for that, honestly, because the killers we got were really lame. But let's see who else I thought the opening kill would be. Now this one hurts to admit, but Gale could die in the cold open. Here is my reasoning. Gale Weathers, where does she end up in Scream 2022? Her best friend slash ex-husband of like a decade was brutally murdered, and so a piece of her soul is probably eternally shattered. She also said in the last movie, those assholes can die in anonymity. She's not writing any more books. That part of her function has ceased. And I know I'm kind of jumping the gun, but this might inspire a killer to be like, she's not writing any more books, so maybe if I kill the woman that made the killers famous, then I will become the famous killer. Look, little did I know, because after Scream 2022, they killed Dewey and they killed Judy. Like, they killed 2 legacy characters, one of the big 3. I was like, yeah, I mean, these writer-directors, they might have the balls to kill off Gale in the cold open. I'm pretty sure I also predicted that Kirby would be in the cold open too, but now I know that they're soft. They're softies. They don't have the balls. Let's hear my genius reasoning on why I didn't think that Sydney would be the opening kill. Not that a Ghostface would really care, but Sydney has kids now, she has a husband, she doesn't even live in Woodsboro. To be fair, neither does Gail, but she's a famous news anchor, so it wouldn't be that hard to figure out where she works. A Ghostface could easily fake some receipts, get a job as an intern, or even as like a janitor or something, and we could have a whole opening in the news studio. You could make that really creepy. Like, imagine that Gail is the only one there after everybody has left. Her demeanor is down. She's just reported on like the 5th climate disaster of the week. She's maybe looking at a picture of Dewey framed on her desk. She's the last one in the studio because at the end of the day, she has to go home, which is one of the last places that she shared with Dewey, and it only reminds her that he's gone. The phone rings at the desk. She answers the phone. The lights in the studio go down. We then have an awesome showdown in the labyrinth of production offices, and maybe her body is like majestically but grotesquely put on display. It's the biggest story of the month, etc. Gets everybody's attention. Ghostface starts going after everybody else. Oh shit. Tell me why that would have been really interesting. I mean, I adore the Ghostface sequence that we got with Gail. Along with this, Gail also would have gotten her first Ghostface call. I didn't say it because I didn't even realize that. But the sequence we did get with Gail in her apartment was pretty rad. I think I would have preferred to have seen this. Maybe not as the cold open though, but then also it's hilarious that I'm like, yeah, Gail is definitely not gonna write any more books. I never had a conscious thought that Gail would go back on her arc and write a book. You can see the certainty in my eyes. I was so happy with Gail at this point. And even I was gonna be okay with Gail, my favorite character, being killed off because her arc had been finished. They really need to get me in that writer's room. Also, I guess I thought that Scream 6 was gonna take place in Woodsboro, but regardless, this opening would have taken place in New York, so So moving on to why I think that Samara Weaving could be the opening kill. I think it's pretty obvious she is a Scream queen. It would be a Casey Becker kind of a moment, like it was really hard to watch Drew Barrymore die in the cold open. That would be like the simplest of choices for the opening scene, and I don't think that they're gonna pull a Jenna Ortega Tara kind of moment and let the opening person live. I am a witch who sees the future. Wait, did I go back on it? Because I swear earlier, did I not say like I wasn't gonna put that on the bingo card? Did I just resign myself to it? I don't know, I don't understand. I was scripting my videos way back when, like I would have had to write all these predictions down. What am I, stupid? What am I, stupid or something? No, I'm a genius because I predicted the cold open, but I predicted that she was cast at all. Can we get some snaps for that? I didn't see anyone else out here being like, yeah, Samara Weaving's gonna get cast, but I knew. This much sugar in the morning. Wow, maybe I should just film all my videos in the morning though. Maybe I have more energy. Though I'm not really a morning person because I have crazy dreams, so I usually wake up really tired. Then I wake up later on during the day. Like last night, I had a Scream related dream. Last night, I had a dream that Mason Gooding Jr. died, and everyone in the fandom was like, oh my god, rest in peace, Chad. And I was like, you fucking losers. He's a real human being who died. I'm sorry, that's morbid. I'm getting really off track. My third, and not even my last prediction for the opening kill, it's another painful one, admittedly. Kirby returns to be the opening kill. Let's think about it, folks. Usually the opening of a Scream movie provides some of the best commentary of the entire movie until the horror nerd gets their one scene. So what if they combine that? Mindy is the only other one that could serve this function, but I do not see Mindy as the opening kill. So what other character could provide the kind of commentary that we want to see, not only as horror fans, but as Scream fans, than from Kirby herself? Holy hell. Okay, so I knew that Kirby was coming back because they basically confirmed it in Scream 5. They had her little interview snippet and everything, but I don't think that at this point we knew that Kirby was coming back. I prefaced all my predictions by saying we know that Courtney Cox is coming back, but we don't know about anybody else. So I mean, that was kind of a double whammy prediction. The fact that Kirby was coming back at all, but my very first prediction for her was that she was gonna die. So that one's kind of like, I don't know, it's 50-50. Also, at one point we did think that Kirby died in Scream 6, but now we know that that's never gonna happen, so. But I'm not gonna give that one to myself, don't worry. Now this is my fourth and final prediction for the opening kill before we move on to our next category. Martha Meeks, I actually kind of see as maybe the most obvious choice besides Gail. Okay, so that is probably gonna be one of my first predictions for Scream 7. I feel like Martha Meeks would probably be the cold open for Scream 7, and that's gonna be at least one of my guesses, because so far Scream 7 hasn't even been announced, but of course it's going to be. That'll be my prediction for today. You can put some money down on that one. So interestingly, that'll be one of my predictions from this video that will remain. It will roll over. Now moving on, but hold that thought because I am gonna come right back to it. Let's move on to where our other legacy characters have ended up. So Tara, Sam, Mindy, Chad. I'm not sure that our legacy characters are still gonna be in high school. Obviously Sam is not. So it would be a really fun callback to Scream 2 if Tara, Mindy, and Chad are now in college and that's where the movie takes place. I am a witch! I'm sorry, I don't know how many times I'm gonna say that because I don't know how many times I'm gonna be frighteningly correct about everything. This always happens. Why am I surprised? Why am I surprised? Chug, chug, chug. No paren la fiesta. Don't stop the party. Why? Why? Also, the fact that I say it would be a fun callback to Scream 2, little did I know. Little did I know how much of this movie would be a callback to Scream 2. God damn it. The room for callbacks to Scream 2 are limitless, but this would be an appropriate place for the characters to start because remember how I had you hold on to that thought? What if the murder of a legacy character draws back the other legacy characters to Woodsboro for a funeral? So that's the reason why we end up back in Woodsboro. It's for a funeral. Why did I think that it was gonna take place in Woodsboro? I guess maybe I was saying that because I didn't know if they were still gonna be in high school. I didn't know if they were juniors or seniors, but in all fairness, a lot of them looked like they were in their mid-20s, which they are. I did not have the foresight to guess that the whole movie would be in New York. How could I? How could I have known? Anyway, we've never had a funeral in Scream. Usually the events of each movie take place over the course of like a day or a couple days, so there's never time for that. This could really only happen if Martha or Gail are killed. Martha is the mom of the twins. Obviously all their best friends would come back to town to like be a support system for them. Also in that case, I hope that we get to meet the twins' dad, but honestly the best funeral scenario would be for Gail. I really want to meet their dad. I know that I have repeated myself about this, but it's gonna be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. No, I'm just kidding, but Jasmine and Mason really want it to be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and so I'm rooting for them in this cause. Still want to meet their dad. That would be really interesting because why have we not met their dad? In Scream 5, we did get a moment to grieve Dewey because we got to see Gail's whole reaction. She had a nice moment with Sydney in the hospital and that was why Sydney came back to Woodsboro. If she had a funeral, it would be for all of the fans too, not just the characters of the movie. I don't think that Kirby would have the same kind of pull and obviously Samara Weaving wouldn't either because she would be some kind of new character. Plus in this case, maybe we would get to see Sydney's family, including Mark. Yes, I think that they might finally bring back Patrick Dempsey to give us all the cameo that us Scream fans deserve. I would still really like to see that, like if Sydney gets to come back for Scream 7, although I don't know, because I don't feel like they're gonna stop at Scream 7. I think we're gonna get a Scream 8. Like, I just don't see Scream 7 being the last movie we get with the core 4, and maybe, fingers crossed, a couple of them will be killed off because at this point it's ridiculous, or if not them, because I love them, then kill off Gail and Kirby in the next one. Look, I love them too. I do. But I also love logic and reason. Plus, in that case, there are other legacy characters that can come back, like Patrick Dempsey as Mark. Ugh. I just need more legacy characters to die, apparently. Now shifting directions, the funeral could also bring out Kirby. Now that my prediction of Kirby being alive from my last predictions video came true, I must now predict that her character will make a return and not just as the opening kill. You already know what I'm gonna say, so I'm not gonna say it this time. She did make a full return. I also did predict she would be the opening kill though. I really just covered my bases, didn't I? So I won't pat myself on the back for that one. I think the reason why she would come back to be a protagonist is that she saw that Dewey was killed, and now with Gail gone too, she would want to like band together with the younger legacy characters to make sure that she's not next. Plus, I just really want to see a Kirby Mindy crossover. You know what? Fuck it. Kirby Mindy power duo scene. Dude! The fact that the scene that we did get of this was only like 20 seconds long, I could kill a man. We deserved so much more than that. I can't, like, we should have gotten a full-blown scene. Like, imagine if it wasn't everybody having their own individual little moments going around the shrine. Like, yeah, give Gail hers with Dewey, of course, but then maybe have Kirby and Mindy walking around everything, and as they're kind of pointing out all these little Easter eggs from the franchise, they do some trivia with each other about the Stab franchise, and then also other modern horror. Because we got a couple like, you know, Candyman original or equal, both, that's incorrect, by the way. But that should have been an extended scene. It should have been a running gag throughout the entire movie. They did not give us enough of that. So in Scream 7, we better get some more. Now we're gonna start making some guesses about the Scream 6 commentary. What are they gonna do now that basically every type of horror movie has been covered? I know that I'm gonna get this one wrong because I didn't think that they would be so lazy to just cover franchises, but let's see. Well, now that they've done the whole sequel, reboot, remake, all of that commentary, maybe now they'll start diving into the particular subgenres of horror or specific tropes of horror. For the bingo card, I'm gonna say that Scream 6 will make commentary on a specific subgenre of horror. I kind of wish. I don't know, this was just a hard thing to nail down. I really didn't have any good predictions for this, and they also kind of already did this with Scream 5. The whole opening was all about elevated horror, and the fact that fans of elevated horror, they don't know shit about the horror genre in general. Because real horror fans, like, they've seen it all, you know what I mean? So they kind of already did that with Scream 5, but I had not really deconstructed that at this point in time, I guess. So all of this to basically say that this was not a good prediction. They already did this a little bit in Scream 5 by making commentary on elevated horror. Okay, so I guess I did, god damn it. I was a lot smarter a year ago than I give myself credit for. So maybe I'm about to make a good point. Like I said earlier too, Samara Weaving would be the perfect girl to give us commentary on dark comedies. I would also kind of love if Scream 6 called out our enjoyment of watching teenagers be murdered, or the way that we laugh when Dewey keeps shooting Roman in the chest instead of taking him out by shooting him in the head, or the fact that Sydney has now been stabbed at least twice in the stomach and miraculously her guts are still inside her body, and Gail has been shot so many times now. It's a little bit absurd, isn't it? I didn't even know how absurd it was gonna get. Oh my god, the way that like everybody and their mother gets shot or stabbed in the stomach in Scream 6 and they live, or the fact that they don't come up with a new gag. Both Mindy and Sam both get their arms slashed, which happens in like every single fucking Scream movie. I wish that they would stop doing that. I don't know why it bothers me so much now, but I think it's just because I've seen it done so many times, starting with Derek in Scream 2, right? Or does it happen in Scream 1 also? It probably does. I do feel like that will come up in Scream 7 because they reference the fan reaction to Scream 5 in Scream 6. Sam's character is dealing with the whole world hating her, and Melissa Barrera, she was experiencing that as well with the Scream fandom. So I don't think it's a stretch to say that in Scream 7 they're probably gonna reference the fact that everyone was just turned into living pincushions and all survived. I was ahead of the curve here. I didn't even know how bad it was gonna get. Now this next one, I've told my subs about this already a few times, but too bad you're gonna hear it again. I want there to be a Final Girls support group. Now let me explain this juicy idea. I think that they should go out and get some of our favorite Final Girls of all time and get them in the same room. I don't care how much it costs. I want to see some or all of these faces. Jamie Lee Curtis, Sigourney Weaver, Heather Langenkamp, Jennifer Tilly. Fuck it, even maybe like Bruce Campbell, throw him in there too. So maybe there's just kind of like a brief round table moment where they're all going around and it's this Final Girls support group, and as it's going around, we then reveal that that is where Sydney or Gail or Kirby is, and that's how they're reintroduced to the movie. Interestingly, we do pick up back with Sam and she's in therapy. This was way off of that. I couldn't make it that simple, of course. But I don't think that I was that far off. We did finally get to see one of our Final Girls in therapy. Also, there were more details to that, but I had to just cut some of it out because I do tend to ramble, don't I? And you can go back and watch that video if you so desire. And I'm just a sucker for some meta commentary about what it's like to be a Final Girl. Give me all of it. I never get enough. So throw that on. I want some Final Girl commentary, like a full-blown scene of it. Would you consider the therapy scene a full-blown commentary on being a Final Girl? I don't know. I don't think so. We've gotten like bits and pieces of it. I also referenced the part in Scream 5 when she's like, "You ready for this?" For this? Never. I don't think I'd give myself that one. I do still want to see that. Although, I don't know. Do you think any of the Ghostface monologues kind of cover that? that, like maybe Jill's. Jill, you know what? I might give that one to Jill. It still wasn't like a full-blown commentary on being a final girl. It was Jill's twisted version of it, but still there nonetheless. She talks about how Sydney is so special, and there's also commentary about Sydney being the victim and stuff. That is actually one of the thematic through lines of Scream 4. What am I even talking about? That's Sydney's entire arc in Scream 4. What am I sitting here? What am I doing? What am I sitting here doing? Ay, Dios mío. Now, I did also say that I would touch on what was going on with the Stab universe. I think that the Stab universe will be at a standstill because Gale Weathers didn't write another book. In the last movie, the franchise had gone off the rails. All the fans were kind of hating it at this point. They had strayed really far from the source material, and now there is simply no more source material left. Oh no, whatever will we do? Was the Stab franchise even referenced beyond having the shrine? There wasn't a new Stab movie in Scream 6, right? Am I mistaken? I don't know. I mean, it is kind of soon. This one came out a year after Scream 5. Am I just not remembering? I've only seen Scream 6 twice in the theater. I do plan on going a third time in the next week. I may be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that there was no new Stab movie referenced in Scream 6. Well, here is where we can bring back some Scream 3 vibes, some good old Hollywood vibes. Maybe at Gale's funeral, yes, we see her agent, the one that was responsible for getting her books adapted. And because it's been such a long dry spell and production companies were really hoping for another Gale Weathers book, plus audiences all hated Stab 8, boom, her agent was the one who killed her in the hopes of getting another deal. I was really banking on the fact that Gale was not gonna write another book. This is adding layers to how upset that I was that she did. I had forgotten that all of this was in my predictions, but now I guess it was there subconsciously, and that's why I was so upset. But mostly it's because of her arc and how they just like threw that away. Anyway, this isn't a bad idea. I know that the agent killing Gale was a lightweight Ghostface prediction, but it followed that train of thought nicely. So sue me for going out of order, but now let's talk about who is going to survive Scream 6. Sydney isn't dying. It's just not happening. I mean, I was right about that. These are all gonna be correct because no one's gonna fucking die. And I did already predict that Gale was gonna die. I'm pretty sure I made predictions that other legacy characters were gonna die too. These will all be right at the expense of all of those being wrong. That's fine. You can't look me in the eyes and tell me that they're gonna bring back the most revered character of this franchise only to kill her off in the 6th installment. It's not happening.
You're gonna look at me and you're gonna tell me that I'm wrong?
I know, surprise, I'm wearing shorts, but you never know what I'm wearing underneath the table. It's how I keep the mystery alive. I just had to get up really quick, just really quick, because her sister was a witch, right? And what was her sister? A princess. The Wicked Witch of the East, bro. I'm sorry, years later, that's still one of my favorite videos on the entire internet. Ugh. Okay. And we don't even know if Nev is gonna come back yet. I don't need her to personally, and what I'm hoping for most, honestly, is that Gale just has a cameo, but we'll see. Next up, it seems like Tara and Sam are gonna be the main girlies, but I am much more interested in the Meeks twins. Make Mindy the main character, you cowards. The Meeks twins will survive. They are not dying. Not on my fucking watch. Okay, I actually thought that I was gonna predict that the Meeks twins would die, but my love for them is so strong, it runs so deep that I had the foresight to be like, nope, they are not taking them away from me. Even though now in hindsight, like logically, they would probably be the ones that I would predict to die. That's funny, I did not see that coming. I want more of Randy's family history. I want to know more about the Meeks in general. Maybe we could even get some commentary on why people love horror in the first place. Bring back some of the OG Scream vibes. Talk about the generational love of horror or something. Why does that happen? My reasoning for wanting it to be more focused on the Meeks is twofold. Number one, I love them. And number two, I feel like we've kind of exhausted all of the family secrets that can be revealed between Sam and Tara. No offense, I don't really care that much about them anymore. This is very interesting. I guess back then I didn't see them making Sam and Tara any more interesting because they were so boring in Scream 5. And here I'm just like, yeah, I'm not interested in really even seeing them anymore. I do like what I was saying about exploring like the generational love of horror. That's some interesting commentary they should get into. So a lot of these I think are gonna roll over into my Scream 7 predictions. I do want to get more of Martha. I want to know more about their family and their history. Because I was right, they didn't expose anything else about Sam and Tara's past. Like they revealed that in between these movies, their mom basically bailed on them. So yes, let's learn more about Mindy and Chad. And like I said, I'm a little bit suspicious of Sam now because she showcased her abilities as a serial killer's daughter and she wore that shit like a badge of fucking honor. I don't trust her. Like, she's badass, but that whole business and then her delivering that line of dialogue has me questioning her. They could take that farther in Scream 6 and have Sam suffer a psychotic break because of the events of Scream 5. I don't love that idea, but I have to admit that it has some potential. That's so funny because that's literally the reasoning that the conspiracy theorists in the movie hated Sam. Did the writers see my video? Let's see, this has 6.4 thousand views now, so I'm gonna wager a guess they've probably not seen it, but maybe a ton of other fans were making predictions that Sam was gonna be the killer in Scream 6. Sam could become the new Ghostface if they continue to mess with plots revolving around psychosis. They do continue to mess with plots revolving around psychosis, so... Also, this is... You know what? I am gonna give myself this one because at the end, she does don the Ghostface outfit. She does become a Ghostface. I don't care. You know what? Argue with the wall, because I won't hear it. This is actually delicious. There's like this lovely aftertaste because the vanilla, it just, I don't know, it kind of coats your mouth. The first sip was really a lot to take in. I was like, oh my god, this is so much sugar right now. And now I'm like, ooh, I'm feeling it. Or maybe it's just such a fervent need to protect Tara that she snaps and kills all the legacy characters before they snap and kill her and Tara first. Well, there was something to that, wasn't there? She did have such a ridiculously fervent need to protect Tara. That was their entire arc in this movie. So you know what? I won't give myself a drink for that one, but I will, you know, just a couple snaps, just a few. There's also potential for Kirby to feel the same way and she could become the killer because she saw Dewey die, but I'm not even gonna throw that up on the bingo card because I don't want to see it. Okay, that's hilarious because at one point they do try to get us to think that Kirby is the killer. Detective Bailey tries to throw them off because he's like, Kirby hasn't been on the force for, what, like 3 months or something. She's trapped you in there, don't trust her. I didn't buy that for a single fucking second, and it turns out that I never would have. Good on ya past Kylie. Excuse me. This is just a burpy kind of day. So who else do I think will not be Ghostface? This is kind of an important topic as well. I used to be on the Stu's return bandwagon. I actually did make a prediction like that in my last prediction video, but it's just not happening. Stu is not gonna return. It's been too long. There is too much missing canon. I know that I'm probably giving you whiplash saying this. I may be back on the bandwagon, but I will save my reasoning why for my Scream 7 predictions video. Just know that it's crazy. It's such a good prediction and you're gonna want to hear it. So for the love of all things unholy, if you have not subscribed yet, you should do that. Anyway, just a couple more predictions here. Let's get through this. Although that being said, there is one legacy character that I would accept their return. Walk with me here, but Jill returns to exact her revenge. The original ending of Scream 4 was meant to keep her alive and have her go to jail. That was Wes's original vision. I know she went through hell and there isn't a super feasible way for her to have survived all of that, but she was never shot in the head. And it's like they always say, if you don't shoot them in the head, they come back. You know what? I would be okay with this too. Oh god, okay, so I'm gonna have predictions for Jill and Stu to come back in Scream 7. Or am I? Maybe I'll change my mind again by the time that rolls around. Because I am gonna wait. I've basically become the Scream channel. Like, that's all I've been doing lately. But that's not all that this channel is. If you're new here because of the Scream content, thank you. Love having you. But that's not all that I do. And so I am gonna take a little break on the Scream content until Scream 7 is announced. And watch that be announced like a week from now, honestly. So I don't know. Maybe I'll change my mind by then. We still have the canon issue of, well, if she was alive, why didn't we hear more about her in Scream 5? I have a couple reasons. I think that for one, shame would keep her in the dark. She failed and she became infamously hated instead of loved as a final girl. And also being shot in the chest and being fried by a defibrillator, she would probably need like years of physical therapy. But now, after seeing some new blood take out one of the original trio, maybe this would inspire her again. Oh, wait. Oh, wow. Okay, wait, hold on, let me try that again. Oh, holy shit, still got it. I do have a point here, honestly. You know what? What if Jill and Stu are conspiring in prison together? Sorry, let me save that. Let me save that for my Scream 7 predictions. Now that I've mentioned Mrs. Loomis, Billy's whole family came back. His mom, his daughter, what about his father? His father is the reason why all of this happened in the first place. If he never slept with Maureen Prescott, Billy never would have killed her. He is the sleazy big bad behind everything. And I guess you could say Billy definitely got his murderous tendencies from his mother, see Scream 2. But even if he is not a killer, then I could see the return of Hank Loomis, Billy's father. I think I would probably still be down to see this as it relates to Sam. I am a little annoyed that all the previous movies just went back to the first movie and they didn't reference any of the other Scream movies or the other killers. I was really glad that they finally did that in Scream 6, but I do kind of want to get away from the past a bit. I do want to move on, but I would be okay with seeing this if it were just for like a scene with Sam, just so she could maybe like get some answers, and then also that would be nice kind of fan service. We haven't seen Hank Loomis since the very first movie, and he only has like one scene, but he's such an important part of Billy's whole origin story. But patriarchy, misogyny, of course, Billy blamed Sydney's mom instead of his dad. You know, they never touch on that. They never really get down to the nitty-gritty of why that was. But yeah, I'd be all right with this. I wouldn't want Hank Loomis to ever be one of the killers. I'm glad I didn't make that a prediction. But yeah, I don't know. Will this come up in my Scream 7 predictions? I'm not sure. Now for my final prediction, I want to keep things simple. This is what I want to see most out of Ghostface. Whatever the motivation might be, legacy character turned rotten, a desperate agent, or another fame-hungry psychopath, I want there to be 3 Ghostface killers, something the franchise has never done before. I am a witch who sees the future. Okay, I'm kind of kidding on that one because I feel like a lot of people probably could have guessed that. It was like one of the only options to shake things up, right? So I'm pretty sure I already know what my next one is gonna be, and it's something that I still want to see. And we've also never had 2 women be the ghost faces, so if they're gonna stick with the traditional 2 ghost faces instead of 3, then make them both women. Yes, I do still want to see that, and I think that they will do that in Scream 7. Or will they? Will Stu return? I don't know. I'm leaving that all up in the air for right now. I don't think I have much more to say here, so I'm just gonna skim through this and then I will close us out. Obviously, as a fan, I want to be serviced while also being subjected to something fresh and unpredictable. And with Scream 5, that was my major critique of the movie. I was not a fan of the Ghostface reveal, so I am looking for more from Scream 6. So, at the end of the day, there are a few things that I definitely want to see. Some of them are even mandatory, like do not pull a Randy with Mindy or so help me God. Well, it seems like one of the things that I wanted most from Scream 6 is to have a better Ghostface reveal. I wanted it to not be predictable, and unfortunately, Scream 6 did the opposite of that. To the point where retroactively, I think I like the Ghostface reveal in Scream 5 more than Scream 6. No, I can definitely say that. I can say that with quite a bit of certainty, actually. But I think that will do it for reacting to all my predictions. I'm just gonna tally things up really quickly, and I'll let you know how many predictions out of 25 I was right about. And I'm not being generous with myself here, okay? But I got 11 out of 25 predictions correct. That's almost half of them. And this was at a time when the only thing that I knew about Scream 6 was that they cast Courtney Cox and that it was being filmed in Canada. I knew nothing else, okay? So that's pretty good. I don't remember at all how much I was right about with Scream 5. I think I was right about way more things with Halloween Ends, but overall, not bad. Would I have gotten a bingo? Wait, no, I would not have gotten bingo. Oh well. Let me know whatever predictions you were right about or wrong about down below. I'm really curious, because I remember when we did this, if I skim through the comments right now, I'm sure that there were a lot of really good, interesting predictions. So give it a refresher down below. Let me know. Also, let me know which of my predictions you maybe would have preferred to see. Any thoughts, any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. You also probably noticed these lovely names scrolling on screen. These are my patrons. If you would like to be credited along with these people as a producer of this channel, you can sign up for that down below. Not only do you support the channel and ensure that more amazing content like this comes out, but you also get bonus content. I post 4 to 6 bonus videos over there every single month. So in March alone, they got 5 bonus videos. The next one is going to be a solo review on the new movie Unseen. So if that interests you, then we would love to have you over there. If not, all the rest of my social media is linked down below, as well as a link to this video if for some reason you want to go back and watch it. I'm very glad that I made the executive decision to drink this and not an actual beer today, because I also have a live stream right now, so that would have been bad. I didn't even finish it. Hold on. Okay, and with that, I bid you adieu. I hope that you have a great day. Hope that you enjoyed this video and that I catch you in the next one. Bye!